Smile. Though your heart is aching, smile. Even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by.
As my dad always says, kid, make no mistakes. Once I was able to make new mistakes, which was in my late 30s, completely different ballgame.
This concept of things just sort of falling into place, I'm a big believer in that too.
Yeah. Isn't that 70% of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say it's 70% maintenance of what can I do to do my part to stay out of the way. And then the other part, I always think of it as like this little super thin, invisible thread. But you can feel the tug, and you just kind of, you have to be really gentle, and you have to pause when agitated, and you have to go for it when you're going to, like, there's 4 walls in here, which one has the map behind it? You go, it's that one. And you knock down the wall, and it's there, you know.
Yeah, what is that, though? That's a...
Synchronicity?
Yeah.
Intuition? It's great because it's the commodity that you can't capitalize on, and yet if you don't show proof of its existence, you can't even, you shouldn't even be qualified to speak on it. I don't know.
Right.
It's the big I don't know.
But when it happens, whether it happens with love or with friendship or with a career or with a path you're taking, you just know there's a smile, there's an inner smile, like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah. And I really feel, it's so funny, at this point in my life and being, you know, kind of middle-aged and all that, well, I know I'm going to fly around the world and I'm going to sell some soap. And I know I have a new project, and I know I've just retired my jersey on this 12-year journey I've been on. And how do I want to start? And it came up, how would you like it? I go, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to go have the Joe Rogan experience and kick off this year and this season and this new chapter by doing what I love, which is an interview, and there's a give and take. Yeah, isn't it? Sometimes when you get outside of the fortunate, interesting, creative experience you're having, you kind of go like, it's very dreamlike. I think part of the reason I'm still so interested, not just in life, but also, you know, getting to do what I do, is I'm a fan. I love movies. I love creativity. I love music. I love culture. And the fact that I actually have a place in it while I'm observing it and digging it is like, it's an honor. Well, I need to be kept right-sized, because I can easily fall into self-seeking and depression and self-pity and judgment and all that stuff. It's kind of it's a bit of a default, but I spend enough energy and I've had enough help over enough years to actually just say, oh, that's just awful, destructive behavior. You're entertaining in your head, you know. I need confirmation.
Yeah.
Because it's always a miracle. You stayed in frame. You got the line right. Your eye line was right. The lighting was right. The sensibility was right. And you just look at it and you go, oh. It used to be like that with music too. Like I write music. I haven't for some time. But you would write something and then you just listen to it on a loop because you go, wow, that's not. I know that I was here and I did that, but it feels kind of inspired. And you want to get all that stuff. But yeah, self-critical is important as long as it doesn't bleed out into and over the edges and just make everyone else miserable.
Right. Again, get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, that's one of the many tenets of life. That thing that you said about music, most people who write things or create things say that. But where is it coming from? Like, what is the idea that manifests itself into this perfect thing that you could step back and look at, and it seems surreal? How did I create that? Yeah. Did I?
Yeah, because it is you and it isn't you.
Right.
What does you even mean? I love it. Well, you always hear it too in sports. It's like, how'd it go today, Federer? Oh, I was out of my mind. I was not in my mind. It was a beautiful day, and I think you saw the results.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Fluid, effortless, poetic.
I think there's an aspect of it that's clearly has to do with one's own morality.
because it's too easy to jump on that wagon of it's a disease and my brain's been hijacked and I no longer have a choice in the matter. I think there's that element for sure, but past a certain point, you have to stand up inside yourself and change. You know, everybody does with any issue. Ultimately, anything else is just a really, you know, new age excuse, if you ask me.
Confidence, you know, there's been times when I've felt I'm in possession of it, and then you want to let go a little bit, because it's only ever the moment and life guiding you. The wind is so at your back that you're like, wow, are you just, you know, jumping over the waves and all that by yourself? And you're like, you bet I am. But there's a physics to the moment, man, moment, machine, whatever, and the wind's at your back. And then the wind does what the fucking wind does, and it changes. And if you're left there thinking, what, you know, so I think it's great to be in full possession of what you would call supreme confidence, and then see what happens if you don't hold on to it so hard, because it's great, but it is a bit of an illusion, because like everything else, it's always changing. And every day, the reset button, the space bar gets pressed, and it's like, now what?
As far as the coolest letter I ever got was, I won't say where I was, prison. I got it from Jodie Foster, and she wrote me a letter about, and this was years after Chaplin had come out, about how that was still so relevant, Chaplin's life, the precision, the dedication, the what he had to do to be who he was in the epoch that he was, such an innovator in, and such literally a genius. But Jodie wrote me this letter basically reminding me that I had already gone through the motions of understanding what kind of personality would persevere in what is essentially the same hostile environment it was when he started, with this same public turning against and for you, and personal proclivities becoming public and almost damning you. What really sucks is when you live the lesson through the experience of shooting, in this case it was a biopic.
Yeah.
All the good stuff, and then some of the downsides, some of the pitfalls, things TBA, to be avoided. And then you blindly go and disregard all that data. My life experience after that moment should reflect those lessons learned. I've been thinking about this recently. If I could talk back to that 17-year-old who was doing regional theater in Rochester, I would say, guess what? It's gonna go pretty well. It's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. I'm not gonna tell you the specifics because you get too scared, but it turns out in a good place, and it never will get better than it is right now. So just appreciate where you are.